Hey everybody, welcome to topic number 24. In this video, let's take a look at application of percent. So the way how we're going to do the application of percent is we're going to use something called the percent formula. Okay. So when we're dealing with word problems involving with percent, there is one of the three things we're looking for. We are either looking for the part, the percent, or we're looking for the whole. Okay. We were looking for one of the two, we're looking for one of the three things. So so to find parts, you need to take the percentage, where the percent need to be in a decimal notation, then times the whole. To find the percent, most of us know how to find percent. We take the part divided by whole, then times 100. If we're looking for the whole, then we're going to take the part, then divided by the percent. So in in all these application problems, we need to identify which number representing the part, the percent, or the whole. Okay, so that's what we're gonna go through here in this video. Now, the following examples is the are the ones I'm using to kind of let you be familiar with these formulas. Okay, these problems serve no other purpose other than practicing using these three formula. Okay, so the easiest way to answer these questions here is understanding something called of the total. Okay, I will keep on saying this, of the total. So what that means is what number is 120% of the total. So that means the 16 is the whole. The total is 16. So the whole is 16. So you see, we need to identify which number representing part, percent, over the whole. Then we will know which one we are looking for. So of the total, if the total is 16 or the whole is 16, and the 120% is the percent, then the only thing missing is the part. So this problem, we're looking for part. Part is take percent. That's in decimal notation. So this is a percent notation. So we move the decimal to the left two places. That give me 1.2 times the 16. That times a whole. Percent times a whole. So that will tell me the part is going to be 19.2. The reason why the part is greater than the whole is because my percentage is over 100%. That's the only time the part will ever be greater than the whole is when the percentage is over 100. 40% of what number? Of what? Of the total, right? Of the total. So we don't know what total that is. So this question tells me that I'm looking for the whole. Of what total? I don't know. Is 60. So if I'm looking for the whole, then the 60 got to be the part. The 40% is the percent. So to look for the whole, we take the part, 60 divided by the percent. And again, the percent that we're dividing got to be in decimal notation. So 40% in decimal notation will be zero point 0.4. So 60 divided by zero point 0.4, my answer, 150 is my whole. What percent of $20 is $1.20? So what percent? So right away, the question is asking us to find percent of the total, of the total. So the total, the whole is 20. So that make $1.20 the part. All right, so to find percent, we take the part divided by the whole and make sure we times 100, right? Because once I divide, that's only a decimal notation. So to convert into a percent, remember from the previous video, go from decimal to percent, we got to times 100. So we take 1.2 divided by the whole. Part over whole times 100. Since I'm looking for percent, I gotta make sure I write down the percent notation. 1.2 divided by the whole. 0.06 times 100 give me 6%. Okay. All right. 12 is 33 and 1/3% of what? of the total. Of what total? I don't know what the total is. So that means I'm looking for the whole. So the 33 and 1/3% is a percent. So the 12 got to be the part. Okay, so I'm gonna write this problem out. This is a little bit tricky to put in the calculator. Whole is part over percent. So 33 and 1/3%, right? We gotta divide. So I need to type in this percentage. So there are a couple of different ways we can do this. We can either convert this mixed number percent into a decimal notation first, then we take the 12 divided by that. Or we can just type in the whole thing in the calculator at one time. So either way, it's a little bit tricky. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and type in my 12 divided by. Okay, now remember, when I'm typing a mixed number, there's an addition sign between the whole number and the fraction, right? So I got to make sure I put that in the parenthesis, remember? So once I key in the mixed number, I got to divide it by 100 because if I don't want percent, I got to divide it by 100. So that's the reason why there's another operation outside of the mixed number. So that's why I need a double parenthesis. Okay. I open one parenthesis up and I open one up for my mixed number, 33 plus 1 divided by 3. I'm going to close the parenthesis for the mixed number. Then I'm going to say divided by 100. And then close the parenthesis again. That's why I open up two parentheses right away. The outer parenthesis includes the divided by 100 because the divided by 100 got to be done right after the mixed number. Okay, got to be calculated first. So my answer, 36 is the whole. Now, some student, you can do this. You can type in parenthesis 33 divided by 1 over 3, right? Take the mixed number divided by 100. We go ahead and turn the mixed number percent into a decimal notation, which is 0.3 repeating. Then we're going to take the 12 divided by this key right here, something called ANS. Answers from the previous line is color coded on the calculator. So I press second ANS because I can't type in 0.3. That's not going to be right. I'm going to type in, I got to have all those repeating threes on the, from the calculator in order to come up with the right answer. That's why I use second ANS. So then I get 36. Same answer, just different way to key it in. All right. So let's do some actual application problem. Again, we're gonna find out our part, our percent, our whole. Okay, we're gonna identify which one is which so we know who we're looking for. If a government worker receive a pension of 80% of her present salary, so her present, her retirement, her pension is gonna be part of what she is making. What will her pension be if her monthly salary is that much? Okay, so her pension, looking for a pension, her pension got to be part of what she was making, right? Since people retire, they cannot draw 100% of what they were making. They can only draw part of what they were making. So the pension got to be the part. So part is equal to percent. 80% is 0.8 times the whole month salary, 4250. So her pension is only part of that 4250 she can actually draw. So 0.8 times 4250. So her pension being a part of the 4250 is $3,400. All right. A certain test worth 150 points. How many points, rounded to the nearest whole point, are needed to get 80%? So if a certain test worth 150 points, then 150 point got to be the whole, right? That's a whole test is worth that much. So again, this problem looking for the part because 80% is a percent. Okay, so how many point does it take out of 150 is equal to 80%? That's what the question is really saying. So we take percent 0.8 times the whole to find part. So 0.8 times 150 is 120. So 120 out of 150 will be 80% of the grades. If you answer 15 questions correctly and got 75, okay, how many questions were on the test? So you didn't get 100, therefore there are gonna be more questions than this 15. So a lot of students thought that 15 is actually a part. No, 15 is, excuse me, a lot of students thought 15 is a whole. 15 is actually part of the whole test because you got 15 correct, therefore you got 75. So since you did not get 100, that means that 15 is actually the part. Okay, 15 is actually part of the whole test. And and there's a saying, percent. That remind me to tell you this. Percent, there's a saying, percent is a part over the whole. You probably have heard that before. Percent is a part over the whole. So a lot of people read this phrase together, which is fine, which is saying that the whole, excuse me, which is saying the percent up here. The percent is a part over the whole. That is true. But I also want you to look at the front end of this phrase. Percent is a part. Percent representing part. It's just in two different notations. One is a percent notation, the other one can be whatever notation that comes in. But they represent the same thing. They're both representing parts of something. It's just in different notation. So the 15 questions is the 75%. The 15 question correct is equal to the 75%. Therefore, percent is what is a part. Okay, that's why this question we're looking for the whole. What is a whole test? How many questions is on the whole test? So we take 15 correct divided by the percent 0.75, and that will tell me how many questions is on the test. Percent is a part, so that would be 20 questions. Okay. Wendy went shopping, spent $34 on sweaters. If she spent $67 total, what percentage did she not? Did she not spend on the sweater? Okay, so how much? So this problem, we can just go ahead and subtract. Okay, $34 is part of the total spending. So if I subtract, then it will tell me how much money is not spent on the sweater, right? It's $34 for sweater, $33 is not for sweater. So the percent not on sweater is gonna be the money not spent on the sweater, right? 33 bucks did not spend, divided by the total times 100. Okay, I hope that makes sense. Percent is a part. These two numbers need to represent the same meaning. Okay, they need to represent the same meaning. One of just in two different notation. $33 is not is actually the money not spent on sweater. The question is asking for the percent not spent on sweater. Okay, both mean the same thing. Both means not on sweater. One's in terms of percentage. One of them is in terms of percentage. One is in terms of dollar signs. All right, run the answer to the nearest percent. So 33 divided by 67 times 100. If I round to the nearest percent or nearest whole number, that would be about 49%. 49% not spent on sweater. All right, your dinner bill at a 200 item all you can eat China buffet was $8.99, right? So your whole bill, $8.99. If you leave 20% tip, how much would the tip be? Tip is part of what we eat, right? We leave tip based on what we eat. So the tip got to be the part. So part is equal to percent, 20%, 0.2 times the whole, $8.99. So this is not like, this is not like what I experienced, okay? One person, $1, two person, $2, three person, $2 at China buffet, okay? So come on, when you go out to eat, you gotta leave at least 15 to 20% tip. Yes. 8.99 times 0.2. So that will be dollar, got round to near cents. Money, we always round to near cents. So nearest cents is referring to nearest hundredth. So the 8 will make my hundredth go up. So I will leave about $1.80. Okay, round to nearest cents is round to nearest hundredth. So the place to the right of the hundredth will tell you to go up or stay the same. Shannon received an 8% raise. This question always kind of confused students. She got an 8% raise, which amount to $100 per month. So earlier we are saying percent is a part. 8% raise is amounted to $100, right? So this $100 is not her old wage, is her raise. Her raise. So her raise is gonna be part of her old wage. So this question, we're looking for the whole. Whole is always gonna be part over percent. 8%, 0.08. So how much was she making before? Okay, this problem, the $100 is not the whole, it's actually the part. Okay, because the raise, $100 raise is part of the old wage. 0.08, 12.50 was her old wage. Okay, all right, let's look at some homework questions. It's gonna kind of help you identify the part, the percent, the whole. When solving percent problem using percent equation, to find the whole, it is equal to find one of the following. To find the whole is always what? Is always part divided by the percent in decimal. Okay. This question, 58% of what total is 841? Of the total. So you don't know the total, right? So that means 841 got to be what? Got to be the part. Because you're looking for the of the what total right here. So that classified 841 the part because 58% is the percent. While the local ice skating rink, while at the local ice skating rink, Cora went around the rink 27 total times total. Cora slipped and fell 20 of the 27 times. She skated around while she skated around the rink. What approximate percentage of the times around the rink did Cora not gonna slip and fall? All right, so this one just like earlier, the not spending on the sweater. So if you subtract, if you subtract the total number of times she fell, okay, so 27 times around the rink, subtract 20, that's 7 times she did not fail. So that will be 7 divided by 27 and convert to a percent. All right. $3.75 is 15% of what total? What total? Right? So this problem looking for the whole. So 375 got to be the parts. 25% of the total $30 is what? So that means the total is 30. So this problem, you're looking for the part. All right, what percent of the total of the total? So this question is looking for percent of the total $30. So $30 is the whole. 240 is going to be the part. So you can find percent. Okay, so this question is a lot like, do this question the same way as this one right here with my 33 and 1/3 percent. Okay, it's the same, very similar questions, just different numbers. So make sure if you want to do the first way I show you with a double parenthesis, make sure you put the 11 plus 1/9 in one parenthesis, okay? And make sure you divide it by 100, right? You make sure you divide it by 100, then close that parenthesis, okay? With a 29 point, with not 29 divide, that will work. All right, if 11% of the 210 million adult Americans live in poverty, how many adults live in poverty? So 210 million representing adults live in poverty. Okay, how many adults live in poverty? So the 210 million adult Americans, okay, is the total number of adult Americans. 11% live in poverty. Okay, so how many adults actually live in poverty? So this problem, this is the whole, you're looking for the part. All right, question 9. Government regulation require that for a certain company to receive a federal grant money, 15% of the total number of employees must meet minority requirements. If a company has employees 570 people, how many member minorities should be employed? Okay, so the total number of employees 570. 15% of that, 15% of that 570 gotta be minority. So this question, you're looking for the part. 570 is the whole. All right, if you correctly answer 12 out of 18 questions on the quiz, what's your percentage? So of course, 12 gotta be the part. 18 is a total number of questions. Okay, so this question you're looking for percent. Part divided by whole times 100. If Brad's monthly gross salary is 2620, 14% is withheld for taxes and social security. How much money does he bring home? Okay. I want me to think about this one. How much money does he bring home? 14% is withheld, right? For tax. So let me give you a hint. How many percent? If 14% withheld, then how many percent, if 14% is withheld, so that means rest of it is what he bring home. So the question is, how many percent does he bring home? Because if you can figure out this percentage, then that percentage times by the total gross will be the amount of money he brings home. Okay. All right. So this question, the bill for the dinner was 69.19. You left $15.81 for tip. What percentage of the original bill was the tip? This question is asking for what? This question is asking for percent of the tip you leave, right? So that make the tip as a part of the total bills, right? So part divided by whole times 100. So just quickly in this video, we talk about using the percent equations, how we can find part, percent, and the whole using the three equations. Okay, that will conclude this video. Thank you for watching.